So today I've got another low-key fashion brands video for you, and the common theme with today's brands is that they're all sustainable brands, which is something that I always look out for when looking at new brands. I've got a great selection of brands on this list, but then again, I put this list together, so it would be a bit weird if I didn't think it was a great list. But hopefully you enjoy it too. Some of these brands are more established than others, but that's always going to be the case. And if you've heard of any of these brands, do let me know in the comments. But I've got a lot to get through in this video, so I'm not going to waste any more time, well, just a tiny bit more time, asking for likes. Please like the video. Now that's all out the way, let's get into the video. So the first brand that I want to talk about are HOMEWORK Work From Home. Now HOMEWORK are a streetwear brand that was started only in 2020, so they're a relatively new brand. And they're based here in the UK. But the brand are all about the movement from the physical world into a more digital world, and this was inspired by the lockdown in 2020 and them starting this brand from home, hence the name. Now some of their designs, even though I like them, they're a lot louder than I'd usually go for, but I really like their more simple pieces. I feel like the brand nailed the whole futuristic digital world thing really well with their designs, and yeah, they've only got a few pieces out at the moment, so I'm really excited to see more from them. And aside from their clothing, the other thing that I really liked about this brand is that their slippers and hats are all knitted by grannies in Yorkshire. And the money that they earned through the sales of the slippers and the hats, they gave to a charity trying to combat loneliness in the elderly population. So not only do they make cool looking clothing, they seem like a decent bunch too. The next brand I want to talk about are called Longevity London. So if you're into loungewear style clothing with a bit of a boxy fit like I am, then this brand are definitely one to check out. So the brand started out in 2021, so a really new brand, in London of all places. And they make some really simple but beautiful looking pieces. What really made this brand stand out to me is the cut of their clothing. The silhouettes are beautiful. The attention to detail, I can see it just through the images on their website. But I think they've done a really great job at making really casual and simple pieces look really luxurious, and I definitely want to pick up a few pieces from them. And from what I've seen from them so far, their clothing is only in black and white. I love black and white, so that's right up my street. They have only been around for a year though, so they might branch out into colour further down the line, who knows. So the next brand I want to talk about are called Division, who were founded in 2018 by siblings Nana and Simon Wigg. Now Division are based just outside of Copenhagen, I think, and they use pre-existing materials to make the majority of their clothing. And some of the pieces still have the tags from the old piece of clothing that was used to make the new items, like this Carhartt jacket for example. Now not only is this a great way to get more unique looking pieces, but it's a great way to give new life to older pieces too, and I really like the look of it. They're definitely not the first brand to do this, and they're not the only brand out there right now doing this, but they do stand out for me. Now their clothing is very pricey, but they're a small team of 5 I think, and they make all the clothing themselves, they do all the photos for it, the website, they do everything. So a lot of work goes into each piece, so it is going to cost a bit more. So the next brand that I want to talk about are called Riley Studio. I followed Riley Studio for quite a long time now, and they do some really simple minimal style pieces that are really easy to wear. But they're a gender-free brand that use organic and waste materials to create their clothing. I always think that sounds horrible, doesn't it? Using waste materials. But even though it's waste materials, it does look very smart. I must admit, when I first saw this brand, I didn't think they were that exciting. But since then, their collections have been getting better and better, and they're doing some really nice stuff now. But if you like clothing that you can wear to any occasion, you can dress it up, dress it down, it's easy to wear, then check out Riley Studio. Now this next brand I'm really enjoying at the moment, and it's Story MFG. Now I wouldn't exactly describe Story MFG as a low-key brand, but still not enough people know about them, so I'm putting them on the list. They make their clothing in the same way that vintage workwear was made and military clothing was made, so you know they're going to hold up well. Their pieces are very unique looking. Saying that, they do actually remind me a bit of the brand Bodhi, so if you like Bodhi, then check this brand out. Even though their clothing is quite loud and it's got a lot of patterns on it, which isn't usually my style, I do like most of their pieces, and I'm hoping to pick up a few pieces from them soon. Their clothing, like a lot of others on this list, are very expensive, but they're very unique looking and they're going to hold up well, so you will get your money's worth. Now we've got another brand on the list that I've been following for a long time now, but I haven't bought anything from, and it's Wax London. Now a lot of retail stores in the UK do sell Wax London, so I have tried on a few of their pieces before, but nothing really grabbed me. That's up until recently. I feel like the brand have really stepped up their game in the last year or so, and they're making some really beautiful and interesting looking pieces. They do produce quite a lot of simple looking basics, but they also experiment quite a lot with different patterns, and I think this is where the brand really shine. I actually find their style quite hard to pinpoint, which I think is a good thing, but I think it leans more towards the workwear kind of style. So if you're into that, definitely check them out, and if you're not into that, just check them out anyway. We've got another London-based brand on the list next, and it's SCRT. So SCRT started off as a small project where they collaborated with local artists and put out small runs of clothing. But since then, the brand have expanded into a streetwear brand, and now they collaborate with artists all over the world, and they do some really awesome stuff. I really like the idea of working with a load of different artists. I think it keeps things really interesting. And it's also a really nice way to show off some smaller artists' work, so I'm all for it. I also noticed that they put out some pieces with Donnie Darko on and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and they're some of my favourite things, so that was nice to see as well. SCRT, they're quite well known on Instagram already. I think they've got about 80,000 followers. But yeah, if you don't know them yet, definitely check them out. Some of you may have seen this next brand on the channel already because I've got a pair of boots from them, but it's the French brand Viron. Now, I must admit, I'm only really a fan of their boots. Some of the other styles that they've got out are just not really my style, but they might be yours, so check them out. But their boots, I think they're some of the nicest looking out there, and they're really fairly priced in my opinion. And to make their footwear, they use materials like apple waste and corn waste from the food industry. Delicious, you can't say that's not creative. And they also upcycle old military boots and stuff like that. But even though they're a relatively low-key brand, they're not going to stay that way for long, I don't think. And the likes of Kanye West, Ollie Sykes, FKA Twigs, Machine Gun Kelly have all been seen wearing their boots. So yeah, it's probably only a matter of time. But that's the list of brands I've got for you for this video. I hope I introduced you to something new. I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave it a like if you did. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. And I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you later.